All right, hi. So today we're gonna test the Japan National Dignics 09C and the Chinese national version of Dignics 05. So we're gonna use Viscaria, and I will be using my good old classic Xu Xin Dynasty with Hurricane 3 on both sides. So to have a somewhat of a comparison, we're gonna use FZD ALC with the Dignics 05 forehand and Dignics 80 backhand. So this is a commercial Dignics 05, and this is a Chinese national version Dignics 05. So we're gonna have like a kind of a Dignics comparison, 05 comparison on each one. And also this FZD ALC, even though FZD ALC is a little bit softer than the Viscaria, however this is 93 grams and this is at around 87 grams. So they're somewhat like similar. They're all like ALC outer paddles. Yeah, that's it.
So unfortunately the AC isn't working today and it's pretty hot, but they are working on it to fix it ASAP. As shown, the forehand is the Japan Dignics 09C and the backhand is China Dignics 05. So just some light forehand drills. The Dignics 09C, it's actually not super hard to hit through. Even with her not hitting it super hard, if she just activate the sponge and hit the ball to the paddle, it has a very high pitch, loud, metallic clicking sound, and it's very loud and kind of scary. It's even more pronounced than even the Hurricane 3 if you hit through it. So that was me telling her to open the paddle and just hit it forward more to make that loud, high-pitched cracking sound. So you might think, why is it so loud and so clicky? Is because like the layer of Falco platinum. I have been using a lot of Dignics 05 and 09C with like multiple layers of booster before. Doesn't make that loud of a sound. The feel of the rubber, it's not too hard to hit through. It's about the same level as like the commercial version of Dignics 09C to hit through. But what I do see is the rubber is marginally faster. Not like by a lot, but it's marginally faster and louder. Spin wise, I think it's slightly more, but not too much. What I'm baffled is just by the sheer speed of Dignics 09C. It doesn't even feel like a hybrid anymore. It feels like it's got the grip of a hybrid, but the speed of a tensor. Okay, so now onto the China National Dignics 05 on her backhand. So what I noticed immediately is just the sheer amount of grip it has. I did a video where I was trying to assemble her paddle, and I can tell immediately the Dignics 05 China version has insane amount of grip. It's slightly different than the commercial version. It's got that grip. It's so scary, even though it's a tensor. It's actually kind of changing the trajectory of the ball because of the sheer grip and spin. Once again, she isn't like hitting it super hard, but if I hit it like super hard and then she just blocks it, and then even just like not trying to be super actively counter loop or counter block, the spin generated is actually abnormal. Definitely different from the regular Dignics 05, and I'm having like some trouble trying to adjust and then to get the timing right or to follow the ball's trajectory. So as you can see, that the harder I hit, I counter loop / counter drive, the more faster the ball got back at me because of the sheer support of the China Dignics 05 sponge. That sponge, it's a lot harder than the commercial version, and it have massive amount of support. It can tank shots from like a very high level player going crazy. So now right here she's switched to a commercial Dignics 05 with FZD ALC in the 93 gram one. And here, as you can see, the ball isn't as threatening. The arc isn't dipping at all. It's like very normal ball trajectory, and I have no trouble to block it back, and it's just overall less threatening, and I'm perfectly fine with the timing as well. So I can just block it back normal. The arc is normal, everything just feels normal. So now here she switched back, and yeah, and then she started hitting a little harder, and I'm just gonna have a little bit of trouble predicting where the arc is going, and just by how much support that sponge is. So what I figured out here is the sponge, the support is way higher than the commercial one. The sky's the limit on the potential of how fast and you can hit and how much spin you can generate before the rubber bottoms out. You basically have to be like a very seasoned pro to even like to find the limit of this rubber. Also, this is where I found out, I taught her, the harder I hit, the more active the sponge will be, and it just tanks it and it reflects everything back at me. With the Viscaria, it's like butterfly easy mode. Just hold your paddle out, and unless your opponent is generating massive amount of spin, just get on the table. So here, I stepped around and started doing forehand because it's more powerful and spinny. So I just really want to see, will that Dignics 05 try to bottom out, and it just never does. The harder I hit, the harder the ball comes back at me. And the spin, because of that insane grippy top sheet, is scary. So yeah, here I was basically almost going all out, and the ball just comes back at me faster and faster, and I get pretty much like threatened here, like can't really get the timing right. So now we're gonna try to do some open up on the Japan National Dignics 09C on the forehand. So what I can tell is that you really just gotta hit it forward. You cannot really use a Hurricane 3 stroke by going up a little bit more. You just have to feel the ball and then hit as hard as you can going forward, and the spin and the arc and the trajectory, the rubber will do it for you. It's like automatic. That's why I think butterfly is so good, is everything is just automatic. It just does things for you. So the only thing you have to worry about is going forward. So here, this is my first time actually trying her paddle, the Dignics 09C Japan, and the first shot I was very surprised on just how much speed and arc it has. Because I'm used to the Hurricane 3 stroke, right, and the Hurricane 3 ball speed. I was just amazed by how fast the ball was shooting out on my paddle. So now I was using Dignics 05 China on the backhand, and I was just trying to rip the ball pretty hard, and it never bottomed out on me whatsoever. And if I hit it really hard, it will also make a very loud clicky sound. Yeah, so for this kind of rubber, you just have to wish your opponent hit hard, or you hit as hard as possible, and the rubber will have endless amount of volume. So over there, I was just telling her to hit it harder and hit it more forward instead of trying to brush it up. So basically, this is trying to activate the mechanical grip that the ball sink into the sponge, and the rubber will do everything for you. And I'm just giving her the same amount of underspin, and then if she hits it forward, the quality shoots up significantly higher. So here now, I'm using the Japan National D09C. I try to do a couple open up and do some forehand, try to activate the sponge. Yeah, I'm still amazed how fast the ball shoots out. I think she is too, and just how the sheer speed of this rubber, it's insane. Like, you would think that D05 is faster, but D09C hitting it through, it's especially the Japan version, it's absolutely scary. So here, I'm also amazed by like the sheer spin and the speed of the Dignics 05 if you actively hit super hard. So I would start ripping backhands at her, and yeah, the China Dignics 05 held up so well. I remember I used to use Dignics 05 before I switched to Hurricane 3 on the back end because I think it's a little bit too soft. However, this one, it just feels absolutely ridiculous. Never bottoms out. Here, I started using I try to do some open up more. And in the beginning, I'm still like, you too used to the Hurricane 3 stroke, the ball would just go out. But now I know, okay, so just hit it more forward, and the ball will land on the table with just massive amount of speed. Now I'm doing the backhand open with the China Dignics 05. This, I think it's not super well for me because my backhand open is really bad. And with the harder sponge on the China D05 compared to the commercial one, it's harder to engage the sponge, to let that ball sink in, and then to generate a good amount of power on the open up. So you had to be like basically a pro to do that. So now we're just memeing around with some match points to see how we're performing in game. And due to the conditions, because AC isn't quite working, they're on it to fix it. We are both like severely overheating, and so ignore for the super bad gameplay. But one thing I immediately noticed is just how fast the Japan national Dignics 09C is on her forehand. She's not hitting it super hard. She's just like borderline whacking the ball, and it feels like the speed like of a Zyro 03 or something. It's just ridiculously fast, and it also makes that loud, high pitched cracking sound even more pronounced in the Hurricane 3. It's scary fast and just scary sounding. Alright, so the conclusion on the Japan National D09C. It doesn't feel too much harder than the commercial version. However, the speed increase is very pronounced, and the grip, I think it's around the same as the Dignics 09C, the commercial version as well. So amazing rubber. It's basically super automatic, no-brainer rubber, where you can just swing forward and the rubber does everything for you with very long arc and just massive amount of speed and a massive amount of sound. So the conclusion for the China Dignics 05 is the sponge is significantly harder than the commercial Dignics 05, but that's to be expected, right? What I'm most amazed is by the sheer amount of grip it has on the top sheet. Even with just actively blocking, it's producing a lot of spin, and also it is changing the ball's trajectory physically compared to the commercial one. The ball is dipping, almost like a Hurricane 3 kind of effect, where the ball is like just dipped onto the table, so your opponent's harder to read where the ball placement is. So this rubber, if you can hit hard and do tank shots, this rubber is for you.
Oh, and finally, huge shout out to North Texas Table Tennis Club. There are multiple locations. There's a Plano location for coaching, and there's also the Allen location where you can just play with your friends or some of the people there.